In this module, we'll discuss the steps for preparing the Mailbox migration project in MigrationWiz. Remember to refer to the additional resources of this module for detailed documentation. Let's get started. To prepare the Mailbox migration project in MigrationWiz, complete each of these steps. Create the Mailbox migration project in MigrationWiz. Create the customer. Create the source and destination endpoints. Add the user mailboxes that will be migrated to the migration project. Configure advanced options for the migration project. Purchase the user migration bundle licenses and apply them to the customer's users. These steps will be performed in this module. Start by signing into MigrationWiz and creating the Mailbox migration project. Navigate to the web address shown on the screen and sign into MigrationWiz. The MigrationWiz homepage displays all of the workgroups that your account belongs to and the recent migration projects that you've worked on. Click the workgroup in which you want to create the Mailbox migration project. If you've worked on previous migration projects in the selected workgroup, you'll see those projects listed on this page. Click Create Project to start a new migration project. Click Create a Mailbox migration project, and then click Next Step. Enter a name for the project. Give it a unique name to avoid mistaking it with other migration projects that you might have in MigrationWiz. In the Customer field, click the drop-down menu to select from the existing list of previously created customers, or click New to create a new customer. We're going to create a new customer. This adds the customer to the project and also adds the customer into MSP Complete if you decide to provide managed services for this customer after performing the migration. We recommend watching the MSP Complete Basics BitTitan University course to learn more about MSP Complete. In the Add Customer form, enter the customer's primary email domain and the name of the company. Click Save. Click Next Step. Now add the endpoints, which will be used by MigrationWiz to connect with the source and destination email systems. We'll start with the source Exchange Server email system. In the Endpoint field, click the drop-down menu to select from the existing list of previously created endpoints, or click New to create a new endpoint. Give the endpoint a unique name. You might want to include the customer's name and the email system type or version in the name of the endpoint. Select the source endpoint type, which in our case is Exchange Server 2003+. Enter the Outlook Web Access URL for the Exchange Server. This is typically something like mail.domain.com or domain.com/OWA, in which domain.com is the customer's email domain. Select Provide Credentials, and then enter the username and password for the administrator account that was created in the Exchange Server. If you select Do Not Provide Credentials, every user whose mailbox is being migrated will have to provide their credentials. This process may require communicating directly with the customer's users to ensure they follow through on the request. Click Add. The new endpoint information is displayed. Click Next Step. Click Next Step and skip over the migration archive stubs if shown. This is an email archive migration service that is no longer available. In the Endpoint field, click the drop-down menu to select from the existing list of previously created endpoints, or click New to create a new endpoint. Give the endpoint a unique name. Select the destination endpoint type, which in our case is Office 365. Select Provide Credentials, and then enter the username and password for the administrator account that was created in the Office 365 tenant. Click Add. The new endpoint information is displayed. Click Save and go to Summary. The Summary page displays the source and destination email systems configured for the migration project. It also shows the mailbox items that are available for the migration and additional BitTitan knowledge base resources. Click Save Project to continue. The migration project is now configured, but you still have to add the user's mailboxes to the project. There are several ways to add users' mailboxes to the project. They can be imported from MSP Complete if they were previously added there. They can be quick added, manually one by one. They can be bulk added with a CSV file. Or they can be added through the process of auto-discovery, which uses the administrator credentials entered for the source or destination endpoints to discover mailboxes in either of those systems. We'll add items using auto-discovery. If no auto discovery has been previously started, click Start Auto Discovery. It'll take a few minutes for auto discovery to complete. Click Close to close the Auto Discover panel. Once auto discovery completes, click Add from MSP Complete to see the users and mailboxes that were discovered. Select the user mailboxes that you want to add to the project, and then click Save Users and Close. Now that the migration project is configured and the user mailboxes have been added to the project, it's time to talk about the advanced options. You can configure a set of advanced options for the project or for individual items. To configure advanced options at the item level, click the pencil icon next to the item that you want to configure. To configure advanced options at the project level, click the Edit Project drop-down menu and then click Advanced Options. In the Advanced Options, you can configure the migration status notifications, define the migration filtering options, configure the source and destination settings, enable the audit logging option, define project maintenance parameters, define licenses to consume per item, configure local data center options to improve migration performance, and define advanced support options. You will want to review the article listed on the screen before you configure advanced options for your project, because some of these options could have adverse effects on your migration. We recommend that you enable impersonation to authenticate at the destination Office 365 email system. When you enable impersonation to authenticate, the administrator account created for the migration in Office 365 will impersonate each user when performing the migration. This results in a faster migration, since the administrator account will not be restricted by having to adhere to the throttling quota and connection limit associated with a single administrative account. Instead, the throttling quota for each user is used to log into each user mailbox. Depending on the performance of the source or destination email systems, you may want to either increase or decrease the number of concurrent migrations. The default is set to 100 concurrent migrations. However, for example, if you notice that performance on the source Exchange Server email system is suffering, consider lowering the setting to 15 concurrent migrations. Click Save to save your changes and exit the advanced project options. Note that the users were added with an @bittitantest.com domain for both the source and destination. However, the destination domain needs to be changed to bittitantest. on Microsoft.com, since we have not yet performed the MX record cutover to the destination Office 365 email system. Click Change Domains to change the source or the destination domain for all mailboxes in the migration project. Enter the correct domain into the destination domain address field and then click Save and Close. The final step to configuring the migration project is to purchase user migration bundle licenses and apply them to the customer's users whose mailboxes will be migrated. The user migration bundle license lets you perform multiple migrations of user mailboxes, documents, and personal archives, Google coexistence configuration, and so on. After you purchase the licenses, apply them to the customer's users for whom you'll be performing migrations. The licenses are valid for 1 year. Click Purchase on the top of the page. Click User Migration Bundle in the left navigation pane. Enter the total number of licenses you want to purchase. If you want to migrate 10 mailboxes, you purchase 10 licenses. Click Next. Click Purchase to purchase the licenses. Scroll down to the Terms and Conditions. Read them. Then select Yes, I have read the terms and conditions, and click Next. Enter your billing information and click Next to continue until you complete the purchase. After you have completed the purchase, go into MSP Complete to assign the user migration bundle licenses to the customer's users. Click the More Options icon on the project menu bar and then click Subscribe Users. The Users page of MSP Complete displays all the users, groups, and other items that were auto-discovered when you configured the Mailbox migration project. Add a check mark next to the users whose mailboxes you are going to migrate, and then click Apply User Migration Bundle License. In the User Migration Bundle Licenses panel, apply the licenses to the users by clicking Confirm. You are now ready to start the migration. We'll talk about that in the next module. You have completed this module. Take a moment to perform the lab exercise, move through the knowledge check, and remember to review the additional resources before continuing to the next module.